Hi, my name is Gavin McCauley, and I would first like to thank my parents, my mom and my dad, my Mimi, my siblings, my brother and my sister, my friends' parents who are all on the team, and all the coaching staff, Coach Sullivan, Coach Camp, Coach Frisbee, Coach Michael, Coach McAdams. Also, so my favorite memory is probably the Columbus trip because it was just fun. Got to hang out with all my friends on the team. Got to bond a lot, so it was fun. And my advice to younger players would be keep working and don't give up because you never know when your time will come, and when it does, just make the most out of it and always have fun playing with your friends.
Hi, my name is Mason Olbon. First of all, I'd like to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I'd like to thank my mom and dad for always being at every game for me, even when I was younger, when I was 6 playing baseball up to now. I'd like to thank my grandma and my papa that's no longer with us, but I know he's still watching me. I'd like to thank them. He was always there for me, always played catch with me outside. I'd like to thank my brother for always coming to my games and helping me with baseball, and he's the one that I kind of looked up to when I was playing baseball. My favorite memory is probably the no-hitter I threw against Louisville and hitting a 2-run bomb, and we won the game 2-0. Advice to younger players is go to all the liftings, go to all the fall throwings, go to all the Friday nights and stuff. It pays off. Even if it might not be your funnest thing you want to do, it still will help you be on the team in the future and do good. Thoughts on the rest of the season? I'm trying to go out as a state champ in 2025, so let's get it done, boys. And number 17 out.
Hi, my name is Will Douglas. First, I want to thank my mom and my dad for making all the sacrifices, time and money spent to, fulfill my dreams of playing this game I love. It's not easy, but I want to thank my grandparents too for being the best of fans, being there when they can make it, and just being great supporters. I want to thank other friends, families that played a big part in supporting me in my career of baseball. Last but not least, I want to thank every single one of the coaches and the coaching staff for just making me a better person, better man, and a better player on top of that. Varsity staff down to JV staff, always back down to freshman year. Nothing but supportive and just making me a better man, better player, and just all around just thank you for everything you guys have done. Favorite memory, going to Columbus this year with the boys, getting 2 wins, just spending great time, quality time down there, was fun. Senior night this year meant a lot to me and the boys as seniors. We had a great game. It was fun spending it, walking down with my parents and just enjoying the day and the night. Great win. Meant a lot. Thoughts on the rest of the season? Well, we got business to handle the rest of the year. We'll make a run, and just gotta lock it in. Just ready for what's to come. Got a long road ahead of us. And I also want to say thank you to all the other teammates, parents, and families that are at the games just supporting me. Even though you're not even related to me, you guys played a big factor, just being very supportive in me. Every time I step on the mound, it's nothing but supportive from other people that aren't related to me, and that means a lot to me. So I just want to say thank you to those people too. And advice to younger players, play every game like it's your last. You never know when it'll be the last one.
First off, I would like to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for giving me the opportunity to play the sport I loved for so many years. I would like to especially thank my parents, who have always made sure I was ready, getting me places and taking time off work to watch me play. I think I can count on one hand how many games that one of my parents weren't there. Mom and Dad, I love you guys. Some of my favorite baseball memories from Glen Oak are sophomore year winning the Federal League and dogpiling on the mound. This year we went down to Columbus and it was really fun, and we had a bond down there like no other. Going out to dinner with the team, it was always fun. And then hanging out in the locker room is always fun, whether it's playing pig on the mini hoop or Coach Frisbee and Coach Sullivan bickering back and forth. I want to be remembered as a player who was always working hard and making others around me work hard as well. Being a good teammate and encouraging other guys who are down after a mistake, a bad at-bat, or just having a rough day. I also want to be remembered as a competitor. I think of myself as a guy who is hard to strike out. I go up there and battle. The at-bat may not end the way I want it to 100% of the time, but every at-bat I go up there with a competitive edge and competed. Since freshman year, the coaching staff has always been there to support me in any type of way. Whether it's the coaches stepping out of the dugout to cheer, give high fives, or just smiling after a good play, that would always make me feel proud of what happened. The season's far from over. I'm going to make it my goal to not end the season with a loss, taking it all in one day at a time, playing the sport I love with the guys I love. I'm not ready for it to end yet, and I'm making it my mission to not let the season end, quote unquote, early. Some advice to younger players is just take it in, soak in the day. Bond with each other. Don't try to make enemies or act like you're better than someone else, because in the long run, it'll make you not a good teammate. And then don't run.
I just want to thank you. I just want to say thank you to all my coaches and parents, and especially to my Lord and Savior that puts air into my lungs. Thank you. My advice to the younger people, to all the younger players, and to everybody really, is you are made for greatness. It may not seem like it at all times, but you are, and don't settle for anything less. My thoughts on the rest of the season is, if we play hard and we do what we're supposed to, there's nobody that can stop us. You're going to have to kill us in the water for us to stop. So thank you to everybody that's helped me out through these last 4 years. I'm going to miss you guys. Thank you.
All right. I just first want to thank my parents, my mom, and my dad for pretty much just laying the foundation for me, and getting me to where I am today. Honestly, I also want to thank my brother. He was the first one that kind of laid the groundwork for me. Kind of gave me the hope that I could do this whole baseball thing, and I really just wanted to be like him. Essentially, he was the first one to go play Division I baseball in our family, and like I said, he just kind of set the groundwork for me. I want to thank my hitting coach, Tyler Mitchell. My trainer, obviously, he did so much for me. He got my swing right, got my mental game right, and a huge part of my success has derived from him. I also want to thank Coach Jim Hilton, who was one of the assistant coaches at McKinley High School. He was kind of the first person to see something in me, my potential, my talent, and he was kind of able to exploit that on a bigger stage. I started playing travel ball with him and a bunch of other guys who are seniors also, and just really getting with him and getting with all those other people, really helped my development and helped me turn me into the man I am today. I also want to thank Coach Ryan Rua at T3, my previous summer ball coach. This is a guy with major league experience. He got to the highest level where I want to be at, and just learning from him and the ins and outs of the game, and also learning the mental stuff and just how to prepare and just how to be a better human overall and better baseball player. I really appreciate those guys. Really, to me, what it means to be a Glen Oak baseball player, and honestly, just a baseball player in Northeast Ohio in general, is it's gritty. It's hardworking. It's hard-nosed baseball. We get on, we run, we bunt guys over. We're loud for our teammates. There's a respected culture for Glen Oak baseball in the state of Ohio and Northeast Ohio, and just to be able to be a part of this culture and this legacy that has been around for so many years. It's a blessing, and I honestly wouldn't have wanted to spend my last 4 years of college or high school baseball anywhere else, if I'm being honest. Favorite memories from Glen Oak baseball? Man, this is we were going on a Columbus trip my sophomore year, and we were on the way back, and Coach Frisbee had we had lost to New Albany when we had the game in the bag, and he reamed us, and it was just not a fun time on the bus back. And then I remember we stopped at Wendy's, we got some food, and long story short, I ended up falling asleep on the bus, and a couple seniors that graduated, they put some Wendy's French fries in my mouth while I was sleeping, and I'm like sleep eating essentially, just like chewing on the French fry, like while I'm asleep, and I wake up and I see Alex Laird, Tommy Elfay, Jerry Alexander, and Bryce Broom. They all have like their flash on with their phones out recording me. So that was a good time. The whole Columbus trip was just a blast, honestly. And then the Columbus trip that just passed was also amazing. Going down there, playing quality teams, and just being able to get 2 to 3 wins or whatever it was just spectacular. It was a good way to start off our year. Advice to younger players, like I said at senior night, just being available and being your authentic self day in and day out. Obviously being available is a huge thing, and just in life in general outside of baseball. You need to make yourself available for things you think are important, and you just need to be dependable, day in and day out, and then just being authentic, just being yourself, not really caring about how people perceive you is definitely a skill that I'm still trying to learn, but it's definitely helped me, with my development as not only as a baseball player, but as definitely as a person. And those are the 2 big keys. Just be yourself, and always be available for the people that need you. And how I want to be remembered, honestly, like I'd rather be remembered by my presence in the locker room, and how I treat them, staff members at school, and teachers and coaches. That to me is bigger than how I played or any batting average that I could have posted this year or years previously. I just think that the way you leave people will last longer with them than how you performed on the field. And I'm sure many people can attest to that. They remember how you made them feel, and not if you went 2 for 3 on a certain game or if you hit 300 on your season. And, that to me is just, the biggest thing. My thoughts on the rest of the season, I just hope we continue to ball out. We're rolling right now, and hopefully whenever we see this at the banquet, we have 19, 20 wins, and we're sitting pretty in the playoffs, and we're primed and ready to make a solid run that can be talked about for years and years to come. So just continue to ball out, guys. And then anything else I'd like to share, nothing really. Just thank you to Glen Oak High School and Plain Local Schools for giving me a good 4 years and a good 12 to 13 years overall of just great education and great people, great staff, and I definitely have long-term friends here. And I also want to thank Coach Frisbee and the entire staff and the Diamond Club for just providing everything for us. Just making sure we stay level-headed and giving us nice things that that way we can prepare for games and do what we have to do day in and day out. So don't run.
I want to thank you. I want to give a thanks to my parents, especially my mom and dad, for always helping me throughout the year. I want to especially thank my mom for always showing up to all the games and always supporting me if I had a good or bad day. And I want to give a huge thanks to my dad for having to do work throughout the year and always trying to make it to my games. And I want to thank him for the past 4 years helping out with the Diamond Club to help me be better. And I also want to give a thanks to my sister, who's came to every game, even though some games she probably did not want to be there and probably rather be at home or do something else. So I want to give a huge thanks to her. And I also want to give a thanks to my grandparents. Even though they didn't come to a lot of games, they still supported me by watching videos and doing stuff like that. And my favorite memory throughout the year was probably last week when I hit the home run against Green. It was just a cool moment, finally hitting the first home run of my first home run on varsity, and it was just a cool overall moment. And my one advice to younger players is always stay motivated. You don't know when your times will be coming, and you don't want to waste the moments you have, because your time is very short, and you don't have a lot of time here. And also the thoughts on the rest of the season. We are having a really good season right now, being 16-4, but we are not done yet. And we still have a lot more to go. We still have all our goals ahead of us to finish. And thank you.
Thank you to my mom and dad for being at everything and supporting me through everything. Thank you also to my Nana and Papa for helping out and taking me and my brothers to baseball and going to all of our games. I love you guys. My favorite memory was going to Columbus this year with the team and winning the Federal League Championship my sophomore year. And also hitting a go-ahead double in the 7th inning against North Jenny in the district semis. My advice to younger players is to keep working hard. It'll all work out. And in your free time, don't just work at practice, work in your own time. I want to be remembered as a winner and competitor. I think I'm a competitor because I work all the time hard and compete for a spot my sophomore year. I want to be a winner because everything I do, I want to try to win and be a competitor. This season we had a really good season so far, 16-4, but we are not done. I want to be at Canal Park. That is the goal. Thank you to all of my coaches, my players, the bonds that I made this year, and it's been a really good year. Thank you, Glen Oak Baseball, 2 out.
Hello. First off, I would like to thank my mom and dad for always being there for me and supporting me no matter how good or how bad things have been going. I'd also like to thank my coaches who've helped me along the way. Thank Coach Frisbee, Coach Sullivan, Coach Crum, Coach Michael, and Coach Gillespie for a great 4 years. And then thanks to Coach McAdams and Coach Camp for a great senior year as well. I'd like to thank my teammates who've been with me for pretty much my whole entire life. I've made some great bonds and have definitely enjoyed not only the 4 years of high school, but the 10 years before that as well. I'll always remember winning the Federal League Championship in 2023 and how great that was. And then both Columbus trips have been super fun too and have been a great way to start the year. And I will never forget Coach Frisbee's crash out our sophomore year after we lost to New Albany. For all the younger players, I would advise them to continue to keep working hard and always remember to enjoy playing the game you love, because that's what's going to be most important. I'd like to thank Glen Oak Baseball. It's been a great 4 years, and I hope my next 4 years at Ashland can be just as great. Thank you.